I believe if you are now citizen in Shenzhen, this powerful city has brought you or your family amazing opportunities that brings you into your new phase of life. So, have you ever wondered why your family moved here in the first place? Statistics show that through the 40 years of Shenzhen's development, the population here has increased on and on. So has the GDP value. Why? So today I will use my story to reveal the truth of Shenzhen's successful points. It all started when my grandma first landed her foot on Shenzhen when it was 1990, the start of everything. Due to the fact that Deng Xiaoping drew a circle around the fish town, which is nowadays Shenzhen, he wanted it to become a high development city. It became a SEZ zone. A special economic zone is an area in a country that is subject to different economic regulations than other regions within the same country. It classifies a bigger market system, flexible governmental policies, and free trading zones, meaning foreign countries can easily export or import from and to China. These are important factors that pushed my grandma to Shenzhen. Here is the video in her own words.
我是1985年第一次到深圳来，代表湖北省新闻出版局的企业管理小组来考察深圳。当时给我留下了很深刻的印象有3点。第一点，深圳充满了活力，当时的基建兵正在深圳大肆搞基建活动，热火朝天。第二个，深圳的环境特别干净，皮鞋和衬衣穿一周都没有灰尘。第3点，我到中英街，当时香港还没有回归的时候，我看到了国际经济发展的繁荣程度，让我当时对深圳留下很深刻的印象。
This video justifies 3 magnificent perspectives of why my grandmother decided to move to Shenzhen in 1985. History, economic, and geographic. The historical factors that led my grandparents here was the news from Deng Xiaoping when he announced the reform and opening of Shenzhen. My grandma had white thoughts back then, even though she had a stable life in Wuhan, but however figured that no matter what, this small fish town would success and provide a ton of choices. On the other hand, this doesn't mean that Wuhan isn't inspiring. It was just that my grandparents were always looking forward to a better future. At last, she gave up her old life and determined herself to start again in Shenzhen. Thankfully, she made the right choice. And here comes the turning conflict that rotates our economic status, which obviously connects to economic factors. My grandma always had the dream to open a company and change our family's lives. Obviously, Shenzhen gave her the opportunity. When her manager discovered her ability and how she became fluid adapting her life in Shenzhen, they gave her the convenience to start up her own business. She agreed right away and dived her head in.
主要是我在深圳市审计局工作了5年以后就下海，到了中国宝安集团审计部工作。当时老板非常信任我，工作不到1年就让我去办公司，从此我就下海正式经商。
Because of how Deng Xiaoping wanted Shenzhen to transform and set flexible policies, it gave my grandma a choice to accomplish her dream. Her company's industry was also based on the specialty of Shenzhen's conditions, which was the consulting industry. First, in 1994, my grandma was the founder of the CPA industry belonging to the Ministry of Finance. The Ministry of Finance gave accounting firms 4 major businesses: accounting audit, engineering cost, tax consulting, assets valuation. Secondly, at that time, Shenzhen was immersed in the boom of capital construction under the great call of Deng Xiaoping to build a special zone. And there was an urgent need for cost control of capital construction projects, at which time my grandma's company would provide the best service. From only this, we can see how strong Shenzhen's economic market system is. Also, looking at the GDP graph of Shenzhen throughout these 40 years, it demonstrates how the business amount grew rapidly. Thus, more and more big companies decided to start from here, including Huawei, WeChat from Tongxun, Insta360, Haiti, and so on. Another POV my grandma has announced in her video are geographic factors. Besides how the environment is clean and the air is fresh, as she has mentioned before, Shenzhen's location is also spectacular. We can see from the map that it is beside Hong Kong, meaning foreign countries or businesses can come here easily by boat. This creates big opportunities because throughout the time my grandma's company opened, she has received clients from different countries. So, she had the first thought to allow my mother to go abroad.
通达信会计师事务所工作期间，接触到上千家的香港、台湾、欧美企业，从他们这里了解到国际视野、国际信息。当时我就想，我们这一代人打拼，如何让下一代有更广阔的视野，提升他们的能力，将来为我们的国家或者为社会做出更大的贡献。
As my grandma stated in this video, she sent my mother abroad because of how the foreign companies influenced her perspective and allowed her to see a bigger world. When looking back at that time, not all families had the choice or ability to send their children out. But because of the geographic, also economic factors of Shenzhen back then, my mother successfully started to study in Canada's top high schools and later met my dad in university and married when they graduated. Then had me, and 2 years later my brother. But when I was 7 back in Canada, my grandpa from my dad's side suddenly wanted us to go back to China so my dad could help him continue his company in Wuhan. Our family didn't have a choice but followed my dad and we went back to China's Wuhan. In Wuhan, I studied in a private Chinese school, and when I graduated from primary, I realized I wanted to go abroad for university just like my mom did. But the problem was there weren't any good international schools in Wuhan provided for me. So our family decided together that it was time for me to go to Shenzhen, just like my mother did when she was my age back then.
我的女儿，好像又回到了她来深圳的时候，就是也是13岁，也正好是我来深圳的年龄。然后呢，我觉得我很希望她在这个这么年轻的这样充满活力的城市里面，首先她从这个城市里面，她可以吸收到这种创新的想法。第二个呢，让她到国际学校里面去，是希望她是一个具有国际眼光的，我们叫 global view 的这样子的一个个人，叫 global citizen， 让他可以在了解自己本国文化，也就是中国文化的同时，他可以有具备了解看整个世界这样子的一个视野啊，所以呢，这就是为什么选择他到深圳来上国际学校的原因。
In summary, I will not analyze all factors of why I came here, but the main reason is Shenzhen's spirit and resources has attracted my family. Also, the stories of my grandparents influenced our choice. Therefore, I came to SIS in Shenzhen, Shekou. After reviewing and watching the documentary of my family, do we have a clear thought on why Shenzhen has become successful that attracted not only my family but millions of others to move here and decided to develop? Besides the fact of the special rules of Shenzhen, the remarkable notification is the spirit and how Shenzhen welcomes everyone, and we here are ambitious to seek for a brighter future, just like my grandma said. Shenzhen is a young and active city. It changed our lives, and I believe that Shenzhen will become stronger and unbeatable time by time. This is the whole story of my family's history. Thank you.